Hey everybody, I'm going to show you a pretty cool app that you can get on, it works on smartphones, it works on Apples, and it works on Android too. It will show you how to figure out what DNA produces what coat colors in French Bulldogs. Very, very useful visual tool. So go to the App Store and put in the word French Bulldog coat color, and it's going to give you a number of choices. This one at the top, Color My Frenchies, it comes up first. It's fine, but it's not as good as the one I'm going to demonstrate to you, which is called, let's find it here, let's go down a little bit, Coat Color. This one right here. I like this one a lot. And I like it because it's more visual, and I like it because it adds some other genes that aren't available in the Color My Frenchie, like the pink gene. So let's open that puppy up, and there we go. So how does this work? Well, you're presented with a male and a female that you're going to put. So we're going to start, normally it would start like this, and it would normally, by the way, be looking like this. I'm just going to go change some stuff in here real quick. I should have done beforehand, but I'm not smart enough. And it would normally look like, is it not Merle Dog? There we go. All right, I think I've got things right. I do. All right, that's the way it would normally show up. Now, what you've got going on here is it gives you the DNA trait we're looking at, 10 points, blue, cocoa, brindle, and then it gives you two columns for the two genes that make up that particular trait. And remember, every single trait has two genes associated with it. And most of these things are what are called recessive genes, which means you have to have both copies, the complete pair, for that particular trait to show up. And we'll demonstrate that here on this. So let's go ahead and do that. So what we've got here is we have a fawn dog. Now I can change a DNA. Let's make this a blue dog. I'm going to go in here and select blue and blue. And when I do that, I now get a blue dog. If I want to make this a tan-pointed dog, I make this ATA, and then I've got a blue and tan. How cool is that? So you can start playing around with different DNA combinations and immediately see visually what that color is. And it will give you some information about these genes. So I chose the dilute gene. I'm going to press on that dilute in the middle there, and it tells us what that dilute gene does and how it affects that dog. Let's go ahead and play around with some common French Bulldog colors. Let's start with dogs that you see in the show ring. So we're going to go back and make this AYAY, which makes it a fawn dog. We're going to make it not blue, because blue is not acceptable in the show ring. And there is what you see a lot of in the show ring, a good old basic fawn dog. Now, let's give this dog a black mask, which would be EMEM. So we'll go EMEM. Bingo, black mask shows up. Cool. Let's go ahead and make this a copy of Pied, which is the KB gene. I'll give a copy of KB. There you go. One copy, because it's a dominant gene, one of the few dominant genes, makes that a brindle dog. Let's put the Pied gene in here. Here's the Pied gene. One copy of Pied. Doesn't change things, because again, it's a recessive gene, these two copies. Second copy goes in there. There you go. Black Pied brindle. See those a lot in the show ring. Don't want it to be a brindle? Get rid of the brindle gene. Now it becomes a fawn Pied with a black mask. Don't want the black mask in there? Get rid of it. Now I've got rid of it, make it maskless. Whoops. I don't know why I didn't take it off there. It didn't. Here's an interesting one. Let's make it two copies of little e. It's cream, like white paint, covers everything up. It doesn't matter. We'll make this a Merle dog, but since it's cream, it's covered up because cream covers everything up. Don't see it. Take the cream off, and bingo, you get rid of the cream, and the Merle pops up right away. It's a cool app. Remember, fill out this. Don't leave anything as just white. Always fill it out completely. Don't if you don't know, if it's not a pink, put NN. Don't leave it in, I don't know, because it will completely confuse you. You know, like everything, you've got to learn to play around with it a little bit, but it's fun to do, and you see the results right away with the colors. So now let's make two dogs pair together, and let's see what happens. So this is our male. We are going to go now to next, and here comes next, and press on next, and now here is the female. So just to go back to remind ourselves what we were doing here, we had a fawn Pied Merle, is what that's what we're breeding to. Go to next, and let's leave this the way that it is, which is basically just, I got to make sure I got everything right in here. Let's just make sure we've got everything the way we want it. We do. Yes, that is a fawn dog. So what would you get if you put a fawn pied merle with a fawn? Well, I know, because I know about genetics. What you would get would be half the dogs are going to be merles, and they're all going to be fawns. Let's see if it gets it right. So go to next down here. And oh, I had the brindle in there. Well, I fooled myself. Sorry. I had the brindle. Let's go back, get the brindle out. Sorry. So this is the great thing about this, is that you can play around with this. I'm going to get that brindle out. Let's see. I made that an AY. I want to make that an AY. And we were going to make that a merle. So there's the merle. And we're going to make it a pied. So let's put the pied back in. And now we've got our, yeah. So there we have our, this is the male. He is a fawn pied merle. And I'll make sure I've got everything right. And I do. And then we're going to breed that to a fawn dog that is not merle. Oops, not merle. And carries a copy of pied for the fun of it. You can't see it. I think I've got it right this time. Let's see what happens now. So remember, what we've got here is we've got a fawn pied merle, daddy, being bred to a fawn that carries pied. What will we get? And there you go. We get half the dogs are merles. That's that one and that one. 25% of this and 25%. Half the dogs are merles, and half the dogs are fawns. So we get half the dogs are pieds. So 25%. Because remember, half of them are fawn pied merles, and the other ones are just fawn pieds. It shows the colors of them, and it gets it right. It's really cool. Let's just go back and play around with this a little bit more. Let's make this dog a fluffy. So when I put fluffy on, then it kind of gets a little fluffiness around the sides of it. And then we'll make this, the mum, a fluffy carrier. What will we get? So the answer is, and I just lost the application, sorry. The answer is that we should get half the dogs being fluffies. Let's see if we can find them in here. There's a fluffy, and there's a fluffy, and there's a fluffy. So if you add all those up together, there's another fluffy in there somewhere. I don't know where it went to. Anyway, yeah, let's have a look. 12%. Why am I not getting my numbers right? Oh, there it is right there. Fluffy. There's the fluffies. Fluffy, 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 fluffy. 12.5 times 4 is 50%. Half the dogs are fluffy, the other half are fluffy carriers. And you can go look on here and you can get some more information about that particular dog. So I'm going to do it on the right place. Now you can go in here and you can scroll through this and see about the various different, actually the individual DNA that dog likely got. So it's like everything, takes a little bit of playing around with to get the hang of it. It's visual, it's accurate, it's free, it works on any smartphone. I think it's very damn cool. And it's, you can look at my course on genetics, but you can figure this stuff out just by using this app. I mean, there's some things in here that are not included in this, but for the most part, this does an excellent job. And it's a great place to start learning about how DNA works. Remember, when we're looking at the dog, make sure you fill this out completely on both sides. Don't leave something open, otherwise it'll be very confusing. And then when you get to the point where you look at the offspring, remember, this is probabilities. This is not guaranteed. When you look at the individual dogs, that is a guaranteed combination that will produce that fawn dog every time. But when you do the mating, remember, this is probably, it's like flipping a coin. You don't guarantee to get heads or tails every time. So this just shows you what you'd expect to get in terms of the number of pied dogs versus merle dogs, that kind of stuff. But again, I love the app. Free, been around for a long time. I've used it for a long time. I love it. It's accurate and it's fun. So I hope you'll enjoy it too. Thanks for watching. Bye.